1,000 kilograms of downforce coming down right behind me. This is one of the most insane street legal cars in the world. It is, of course, the GT3 RS Manthey Racing. This is a £100,000 conversion, and this is the very first in the UK, of course, here at Topaz Detailing.
Can't handle it. Told him one more time. Can't handle it.
Obviously, you might remember here at Topaz, we're quite familiar with Manthey Racing. Our co-founder Mazin actually had one of the very first 991 GT2 RS MRs in the world. So of course, we were very excited when this first in the UK GT3 RS MR, of course the new 992 generation, came to see us. We're very familiar with the 992 GT3 RS. We've PPF'd literally hundreds of them by now. However, this one is quite special. First thing you'll probably notice is this huge carbon diffuser. We're quite lucky here to have it on the ramp to get a good look underneath and see just how far underneath the car that goes. But of course, most of the changes are on top. So let's take a look at those as well.
Can't handle it. Told him one more time. Can't get all, can't handle it. Can't get
So taking a look at the front of the car, obviously a lot of changes to note here. You've got this aggressive mouth, and that is done by this extended front splitter. Of course, you've got the Manthey logo there, so you know it's a serious piece of kit, with these carbon struts that hold it in place. And not only do they hold it in place under high downforce situations, they actually retract into the front bumper. So if you hit a curb with this front splitter, you're not going to absolutely mash the struts, which other struts might do. All the bonnet's exactly the same, but then we've got these two huge canards on either side, and they do make a big difference, especially when they're this big. And remember that all of this is road legal and OEM approved, but of course they still give you that mighty track performance on the road and on the track. Taking a look at the wheels, the front wheel completely unchanged. However, the stance is different, and that is because it's got a whole new geometry and whole new suspension setup by Manthey. Semi-active coilover suspension, 30% stiffer at the front and 15% stiffer at the rear. But you might also notice, you might think it clashes a little bit, these bright green brake pads against the red wheels. But those that know that this means this is a serious car. These are Manthey's racing brake pads, which means that this car is absolutely ready to hammer the racetrack lap after lap without the brakes fading. You might also notice this lovely Manthey Racing decal on the door. In the past, especially with a bespoke decal like this, we might have had to PPF over it, which of course would have left a border, slight white border around every character. It would have been neat, but you would have noticed it if you look closely. However, now at Topaz, we're able to make all our own decals. We actually sell them on the topazshop.com, including this decal, including the full GT3 RS decals that you get down the side, and all bespoke orders that you might want. So make sure to look at the topazshop.com if you're after any Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, or any decals at all. Moving further down the car, we've got Manthey's iconic aero discs. A little bit different style to the previous generation on the 991. They're not as concave, much flatter. I actually prefer the style of the older ones, but this still looks amazing. And the reason they do this is for reduced drag. It smooths over the turbulence from that rear wheel and makes this car much, much slipperier through the air. Of course, we PPF'd it because this huge piece of carbon fibre, if it got a chip, you would notice it. Taking a closer look at the back, we've got the largest carbon fibre end plates I've ever seen on a road car, accompanied by a third level on the already huge GT3 RS wing, that active DRS. Incredible stuff. The engine under here, you might be wondering, it's the exact same 525 horsepower, 4-litre flat 6 from the GT3 RS. They've not increased the power, they've purely gone for aerodynamics, to the extent that they've even put a new under tray underneath to reduce drag. So the drag coefficient, despite all the extra aero on this car, is exactly the same as the original car. So no more drag with much more downforce. As mentioned, up from 860 to 1,000 kilograms of downforce. Obviously on the interior, it is largely just the GT3 RS, carbon fibre roll cage, these epic 918 bucket seats, Alcantara steering wheel with the DRS, which is of course now improved with that bigger rear wing. But one detail that Manthey have added is these lovely satin carbon Manthey illuminated kick plates. One last detail to mention on the car, you've probably noticed these and you're probably wondering what on earth they're about. It is of course these 8 fins that are on the roof. These redirect airflow down the back of the car. In fact, they take the hot air that's coming out of that bonnet and stop it from getting sucked straight into the duct. They also make the car more stable. You might notice, this is of course the original carbon fibre roof. These 6 inner thins have been added on by Manthey, which means of course we had to adjust our PPF patterns to fit around them. It is the same overall panel, but of course we needed to add apertures to go around each of these fins. And from a PPF point of view, a lot of the car obviously is the same, but there are things that are completely different. The rear carbon screen, no longer a window there, obviously has to be completely patterned from scratch. Things like the front bumper with the addition of the canards had to be repatterned. We've obviously got the original 992 GT3 RS bumper, but we needed to design in those canards. Little details like that mean that this obviously is the same GT3 RS that we know and love, with the added little details that of course we had to adjust all our PPF patterns for. So enough talk about the car, enough talk about PPF. We're going to jump straight into the process of what it takes to PPF, that's paint protection film, a special car like this. It's pretty satisfying footage, so take a seat and enjoy. So that was the incredible Porsche 992 GT3 RS by Manthey Racing, the first in the UK here at Topaz Detailing, fully PPF'd. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.